At the same time, I'm also asking myself, if I went to Parliament today and breach a protected area, I wonder whether they'll give me cookies. Maybe they will. Maybe they give people cookies and I don't know. But I don't know. I should try this. I'll try this tomorrow. I'll go to Parliament, breach that wall. Maybe the soldier who sits outside the fence will give me cookies. They didn't give those guys cookies. Yeah. We are talking about our how we handle things. Now, here comes a guy. He comes and asks for a job, and he says, "You know what? I need this job, and in a span of 5 years, I will have done this and this and this and this." And you say, "Okay, now go ahead, do your job." Now, mid contract, such you change your thoughts, and you expect to kick the guy out of his job without expecting any fight. No, it doesn't make sense actually. In whatever world, in whatever scenario, in whatever circumstance, no matter how much you downsize the situation, yeah, you cannot kick anybody out of the job without giving them a chance or without giving them a valid reason. Now, this is the same scenario with our president, and our president actually, I'll still maintain this. He's a very, very terrible president. Yeah, he's terrible. That we can agree on. But on matters economics, yeah, on matters economics, actually, I share a lot of ideas or the way he approaches most of the things. I actually like them. On matters taxation, they might have done it wrong, but it's the only way. There is no other way. There's no shortcut about it. There's no other way. There's no other route. Yeah, you can't keep get like the reasoning. This the reasoning of Kenyans. Like you want maize flour to go down, the prices to go down. Yeah, but you want the farmer to have a better life. How is he going to have a better life when you are expecting to reduce the prices of flour? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, you go and say that you want healthcare for say healthcare. You want healthcare to be free, but at the same time, you want the government to pay the doctors. Yeah. From which money? Yeah. Actually, the doctors are asking for a rise. Yeah. They want a raise in their money, and the teachers want a raise. Everybody wants a raise, but you don't want to give them the raise. Where do you expect the government to get the money? The money comes from their pockets at the end of the day. That's the truth. Whether you like it, whether you resonate with what I'm saying or not, but that's a contract, a constant thing. No matter who comes into government tomorrow, no matter who you bring in, whatever year, whatever day, whether you decide to change this government, but the language is still the same. Matters economics is still the same. The approach might be wrong, but the language is still the same. Now, on that, I think I've said it clearly. Matters economics, the government in 2024, according to the finance bill that was passed the last minute, the finance bill was not bad. It was a good bill that I maintain. It was a good bill. Now, away from that, let us talk about the involvement of foreign media houses in our politics? Well, for the longest time, foreign media houses have been voices that speak uh, about what our local medias cannot say, or if our local medias have been compromised. They come in handy in exposing a lot of things. Say for this case, they have exposed the police who were involved in the shooting of civilians, and they have exposed the deployment of military on civilians. That's commendable. That's a good job. That's a good job. But at the same time, at the same time, it's very important that they give context in what was actually happening. It's important that the same way that they are highlighting that the government is wrong in killing its own people, they should at least at the same time question these folks who are coming and saying, you know what, they killed us. We were protesting for our rights. They should question them and ask them, did you give them the chance? What did you do? What did you do uh, to do the thing peacefully? Did you bring in actually the whole thing? The folks who are speaking in the activists who are speaking in the BBC documentary. Interestingly, uh, they know, but they fail to highlight that. They know that the government was involved intensively in public participation in the 2024 finance bill. I must admit, if there's something that was most talked about during that period, the 2024 finance bill, and there were a list of companies who were getting involved, they were being brought to the table and asked, what, what do you think about this bill? And we had the likes of Safaricom saying, this bill is bad. Um, there was something about looking into the data of our M-Pesa statements, I think it was something like that. And, you know, Safaricom are like, we cannot release the personal details of our clients. That they said it. That's called public participation. And these parties came. I remember even on Citizen TV. Uh, I think it was Sami Gituku and Lulu Hassan. Yeah, they were talking about there was this bill. I seem to forget it. It was something to do with levies on vehicles, and the way they were talking about it, talking about double taxation on the same person. Yeah, it was constructive, and I think the bill was removed then. Now, on the day, on the day that people were occupying Parliament, the said controversial pieces within the finance bill were removed, but BBC did not highlight this. No, it's very important that you give context. If you just give a story that agitates people, that evokes emotions, without telling the truth, that's wrong. It's good to tell facts from both sides. It's good to tell the protesters and the activists that they are also doing something wrong for failing to give the government a chance. Yeah, it would be very wrong if this country will burn because of a finance bill, which was good. Good. And on to my last point. Yeah, actually, on to my last point about about these foreign media houses. Uh, there was a interview earlier this year. It was I believe it was Al Jazeera, and I watched the. I didn't even finish the interview. I think I read something halfway. It wasn't even halfway, and Member of Parliament, the majority leader Kimani Ichung'wah, was being bombarded with all these questions. What do you think about the, whoever watched that interview? And the guy didn't give even the majority leader a chance to answer certain questions, And it's like they were twisting, yeah? They were twisting everything, yeah, to make the whole government appear that it's all rotten, it's all bad. Well, they didn't give the guy a chance to explain himself. Like if anyone watched that interview, I think Kimani Ichung'wah was not. Well, I think he didn't like the way he was responding. He wasn't responding like he was having a constructive like conversation. It was like an interrogation, and that's where our journalists get it wrong. At the end of the day, they will end up losing both the interviewee and the interviewer because they're just give the guy a chance to explain himself. And for Christ's sake, do not turn our country into another Libya, by the way, because the same way you're painting Ruto as the worst leader, I believe the same way that Muammar Gaddafi was being painted as a dictator, and then years later people start to realize that Muammar wasn't even a dictator like the media portrayed him. Yeah, give our leaders a chance, and yeah, let justice prevail. If the military was involved and those who had a hand in on deploying the military on our kids, uh, they should be apprehended. That should happen. At the same time, I'm also asking myself, if I went to Parliament today and breach a protected area, I wonder whether they'll give me cookies. Maybe they will. Maybe they give people cookies and I don't know. But I don't know. I should try this. I'll try this tomorrow. I'll go to Parliament, breach that wall. Maybe the soldier who sits outside the fence will give me cookies. They didn't give those guys cookies. Yeah. Hey, give your government a chance.